Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Dreamers Game 1, where we are playing Yomi. This is turn 55. Woo! Okay, let's jump into things, shall we? Hello, Odie Bodie. You gotta pop over here right when I start talking? Is that what it is? He says, Papa, you paying something attention other than me? He says, yes. Now don't touch my microphone. I know you gonna. Alright. We have completed research on Conjuration 7. Boom. We'll put that there. Quick. That's good news, right? We're happy about that news. Bapu, the apostate Raja, has claimed the outer throne in the name of cute older women in your area. Lanka has claimed the outer throne. Very nice. So boom with that. And then we have a bunch of stuff. We've got a Horospex, found nothing. We have a reanimation. We have an arcane probing that found nothing. We have some fires from afar, right? Killed 10 or hit 10 units, killed 5. We have another reanimation. We have another fires from afar, hit 14 units and killed 5. We have a dark knowledge that found nothing. We have a cloud trapeze. We have a vile water, arouse hunger, and we have a revive king. So we didn't get any new gem income, and we didn't get any crazy reports on anything. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, fires from afar killed 10 units. I guess we could report that, but that seems like a bit of a strange tracker. Let me know if that is something that you think, like, yeah, I want to see how many units you killed with the fires from afar or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, onwards to the battles. So first we have magic phase stuff. This is going to be our arouse hunger, right? So let's see how this goes. I wasn't expecting it to really do anything. First of all, ghouls are not exactly incredibly difficult or incredibly robust. They can take on some PD, right? Especially light PD, sure. But against something like this, not so much. Like, one of these Jotun wolves, maybe two, could probably take, especially if they're blessed, could take them on, right? And even without all the wolves and the mage support and everything like that, just this amount of deer tribe probably deals with these ghouls without any real issue. Yeah, I mean, half the ghouls were dead before the deer tribe even closed with them, and the wolves got involved. So, unsuccessful arise hunger cast, or arouse hunger cast. I mean, again, wasn't expecting to really get much of anything out of that, but I felt like we needed to try with whatever we could try, so we did what we could. We witness a battle in Florian between Ubar and Helheim, so let's see what happens there. Ubar is just raiding with one of his shaitans, has double stars of thraldom. That's pretty interesting. Very, very capable of killing Vanheers, because Vanheers do inherently have shields, right? So the stars of thraldom have +2 attack versus shields, so that boosts them up to a 16, which, I mean, granted, is still a far cry from 24, right? But, you know, every little bit helps, you know? Ghost wolves? Aw, shit. What happened? Did he get popped? Attack? Did he routed? Oh, he has a ring of returning. Oh, that seems very strange to me. Like, he's unseen, so he has very high, like, I don't know. This seems kind of silly. Yes, he's ethereal. Yes, he's unseen, right? So in theory, he should have a lower chance of getting hit, but his defense is abysmal because of well, because of a number of different factors, right? But like, he's gonna get hits. So I don't really get the concept here. Like this usage of a Ring of Returning is not like, you're not gonna accomplish much here. You're very unlikely, I feel like, to accomplish much here, right? He just drops here and kills 2 things. Gets poked and is gone. Kills 1 thing. Gets poked and is gone. Okay, well, I mean, he didn't lose anything. It's just, I don't think that's an effective way to raid. We attack in Great Mountains. What do we run into? We are up against pretty much nothing. So, Hinnom did not anticipate our movements here, and we are able to kind of move away. We move into the Parched Expanse, attacking some just a little bit of PD here for Hinnom. Easy peasy. Swap. Swap. Okay, well, he's gonna run. That's okay. But of course, because Lanka has bumped us. This is why I hate when I'm working with people. This is I don't remember if Lanka was a problem in this game with this, but I do have plenty of individuals in games that are problematic about establishing borders for raiding people, and I hate it. I hate it when people are unwilling to establish borders when you're 2v1ing a person, basically. Yeah, people are like, well, you know, let's not establish, because they want to see if they can cheap some shit from you. And that's ass, because it results in this type of stuff, right? It results in the type of scenario where someone is going to have a bump and someone's going to be worse the wear for it. And I hate that. Not because I'm not always, mind you, I'm not always the person who comes out worse for wear on those types of bumps. There's plenty of times where I'm the one who is getting the better end of the deal, but it just feels bad, right? Like if I am allying with someone to 2v1 another person, right? I know from a mechanical standpoint, I get the worse my ally comes out from that 2v1, the better it is for me in a, you know, there can be only one kind of situation. But, like, I get that from a mechanic standpoint, but from a moral standpoint or just my personality, I hate harming, or I hate when my ally or I are getting in each other's way. It feels so incredibly inefficient for me, and it ticks me off. I hate it. Anyways, we bump with Lanka, we lose there. We get hit in Shambolic. So Hinnom has struck out at us, right? Like they're coming for us. They're gonna try to defeat us in detail, and we were worried about this, which is why we're not in Shambolic, right? And it's why we didn't try to converge on Hinnom. Right, because had we tried to converge on Hinnom with this side of the army, they would have gotten to move first, they would have attacked us in Shambolic, and they would have completely defeated us there. So instead, we moved into our territory knowing that we would be able to move first. So we lose the province of Shambolic, but that is fine. And then, let's be honest, this is what's really supposed to be happening this turn. It's Pestina! So, we throw everything that we have at Pestina, or everything that we feel like we really can throw at Pestina. And this is probably not going to go well for us. And to be clear, right, because I think I was pretty clear about this last turn, we're going into this assuming that it's not going to go well for us. I don't think that we are going to be successful here. Maybe we do a little bit of damage, but I don't think that that's going to be very likely. All the stuff coming out, all the blessing from his side. We had a natural storm and a wailing winds up from a Hangadrot. That's going to be a problem. We've got some imps dropping in from lifelong protection. And yep, already. In the course of about 3 turns, Wailing Wind triggers, and all of these Yaris, bandits with Yaris, break. So they're already gone. They're already out of the battle. 2 squares basically get obliterated by Thunder Strikes. Fortunately, a good portion of those squares were just Blood Slaves. And the forces of Helheim begin to stride forth. Now, he did put up Natural Storm, and this is probably a good thing for him, because had his eagles come down, he actually probably would have lost a couple of eagles. As it is, they're just going to, like, flap forward behind his relatively safer, stronger units, his wolves and his Hellherdings and his mounted Herdmen, right? He's got a fair number of air elementals in the mix. We've got 3 Dionis here, but they are not fully kitted. So, kind of just doing what they can. We've got some Earth Elementals coming out, trying to do what we can. And one of our Dionis breaks, begins routing. And that is probably for the best on that Dione. Because the other 2 do not rout. And they get surrounded. And they get butchered very quickly. Because what we are going up against, he does have magic weapons, right? Which is expected for basically almost any. I say almost any. It should be anybody playing focused on sacreds. If those sacreds do not have inherent magic weapons, then they should be taking magic weapons to make sure that you can't just get etherealed and screwed over. Gonna make it out? Did he make it out? I don't know if he made it out or not. That looked pretty horrible. Let's see what our ratios here were. So we lost 139 units, all of our long deads, most of our bandits. We lost an Onishigo, and we lost 2 Dionis and our hero, which really sucks, the Bandit King. Yeah, that's about what expected. What's less expected is the 5 units that were killed. I was expecting that we would do a little bit more, something along the lines of maybe like 15 to 20. So this is a little depressing that we only got 5 units. That's pretty rough, but it is what it is. This is absolutely a case of, this would be a different scenario if we had like, maybe a different scenario if we had like 200 Ko-Onis and 100 Aka-Oni and, a handful of fully kitted out Dionis that could like try to fly into the back line or at least fight in the front line. Or if we were just like, oh, let's do a unroutable Dione that's gonna try to, route Helheim, that type of thing. There are other options, right? But we weren't prepared for any of those other options because we kind of threw ourselves into a shit situation. And I've talked about this the last couple turns. But all of our stuff was pretty much focused on Hinnom, and then, Helheim got so close to winning the game that it was like, oh shit, everyone else is calling me in. I guess I should declare on Helheim. I would rather fail against Helheim than Helheim just win and I just not be involved. Well, that's what this looks like, right? Is we have pretty much now failed against Helheim, and that's either going to be the game or somebody else is going to have to bail the rest of the game out, basically. So we lose at Pistena, and then in the actual battle of Pistena, right, like, we are not going to fare any better here. We have less forces here. Poor everyone here. We got Masatori, who is fully kitted out, right? So we'll see what happens there, but I'm not expecting much of anything. Another Natural Storm, another Wailing Winds. Wailing Winds will probably pop our Lizard Warriors before too terribly long. We are maybe going to get to chaff up our center here from the Hellheartings. So maybe that'll be good. We got a lot of Thunder Strikes coming out doing a lot of work, though. We've got some Water Elementals coming out from our Azure Mage. I just gave him a shit ton of Water Gems and was like, hopefully he'll make something happen with them. But he's got a lot of Air Elementals coming out to do work against us, and that's not going to be good. And now we've kind of opened up our scenario. We've lost our Water Mage. He is through. Let's see if Masatori can do anything. I think Masatori is just going to get Air Elemental down, basically, but we'll see. Oh, he's not going to get Air Elemental down. He's going to get Drained Life down. Oh no, he's got his Hangadrots on close. Oifa doifa. Dang. That's bad. Don't Drain Life me, bro. Yep, see. And another Drain Life. Oh shit. That's real bad for us. Please have less good AI. Please stop Drain Lifing me. No, he did it again. Oh shit. Oh fuck, he did it another time. God damn. Hot damn. Don't do it. Don't do it, bro. Stop it. Stop Drain Living me. We're perma-stunned, basically. Oof. Oof. That was some expert stunning, expert, like, shocking grasps, and expert Drain Life targeting. Very well done, AI. Good job. So we killed 4 Hellheartings and 3 Mounted Herdmen for that horrible loss. Horrible loss. So, okay, so what is our record for the turn? We've got 0 wins and 3 losses versus Helheim. 2 of which were just catastrophically bad losses for us. Both from a game state and from kind of what we were losing there. We lost 3 Dione this turn. Really bad. We won twice and lost once against Hinnom. All of which was mostly fine. And then we had a bump which resulted in a loss against Lanka. Pretty interesting battles this turn. Okay. What do we have as far as events? So, we've got, in the Veil of Fortune, locals have fashioned a great wicker man for the yearly celebration of autumn. And he came to life! So we get a lumber construct. Lumber constructs are kind of neat, right? They don't really do much, but they're kind of neat. They are this, right? So they have high HP, decent base protection, right? Like decent natural protection and very high strength. They're also mindless, so they have very high morale. And they have full gear slots with a couple of little nice bonuses. But they also don't heal, and I don't think you can regenerate them because they're inanimate. So they have to heal at a laboratory. So they're kind of weird. They're kind of a strange little scenario, but I think they're kind of cool. I would love to see. So one of the things that I actually really wish was that we saw more parity between, even if they were not normal, if they were kind of like considered jokes. But I'd love to see more parity between Conquest of Elysium and Dominions. So there's a faction in Conquest of Elysium that are basically the Golem faction, right? And I think it would be really cool to have like a Golem nation in Dominions. Even if it was like, even if you had like early era, middle era, and late era, right? Or late age, EA, etc., etc. If you had those, and then you had like a 4th option that was kind of like more fantasy or joke oriented nations, right? Like that would be cool, because there's a lot of fodder there that even just the makers of, not for like custom stuff, but even just the makers of Dominions could just port over a whole bunch of the Conquest of Elysium. Actually, that's a good point. You wouldn't even need to do a fantasy, like archetype or anything like that. Just do like early age, middle age, late age, and then do Conquest of Elysium actions. I would play the shit out of the Conquest of Elysium groups. Like, give me my Hoburgs, let's go. Anyways, that's the lumber construct. That's pretty cool. Also, in Veil of Fortune, we found a hidden laboratory. So we got a free lab, some gems, and a Moonvine bracelet. That is pretty nice, pretty exciting. And then we have an unexpected event in Ulm, another magical bird of wondrous colors, with more gems. So in total, we had pretty good events this turn. We got a lumber construct, we got a lab, we got 2 fire gems, 1 water gem, 3 earth gems, 2 astral gems, 5 death gems, 1 nature gem, 4 blood slaves, and a Moonvine bracelet. So pretty good. Pretty good. All right, and that is kind of the results of the previous turn. So let's take a look at this turn. What are we doing? All right, well, let's talk about the biggest thing, the most important thing, the board state and Helheim, and where Helheim is. Let's take a look. Thrones of Ascension, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thrones, and this is throne number 6. So, this is potentially the last turn. I literally can do nothing to alter whether or not Helheim wins next turn. It comes down to 2 factors, basically. And factor 1 is, can Helheim take the Golden Throne this turn? And if we actually look at Pestina, I think the answer is no. Because I don't think, we look at all these blessings, there isn't a profit here. And I say, if we look at all these blessings, I've actually gone through and checked as well. There's not a profit here. There's not an H3 here. Helheim cannot take the Golden Throne this turn. That being said, they could definitely take the Golden Throne next turn. So, the question is between now and next turn, could I do anything? And I think the answer is pretty obviously no, right? Like, I have moved more forces in to range of Pestina, right? So I now actually have some Ko-Onis and some Aka-Onis and things like this, but we only have 185 siege strength here, versus 250 wall integrity plus the actual, like, units in here. We can't break Pestina in the turn that it would take. We could move more forces there and try to do it in the remaining turns, but basically, we cannot affect the outcome of whether or not the game ends next turn or the turn after that. Okay? So, can Helheim take the Golden Throne next turn? No. Can they take the turn after that? Potentially. And then the question is can anyone else take one of the other 5 thrones? I know Ubar is going to try to move on this throne. And I know Lanka is moving on another throne and potentially this throne. I think it's Lanka's moving on this throne and potentially this throne. I'm not 100% sure, not positive. It might be this throne. I don't have it all mapped out. So what does that mean for us? That means I've reached out to Helheim and said, all right, well, I fucked that up, so how's peace sound? And Helheim has gladly accepted peace. Helheim gets to keep Pestina. Nothing else has changed between us. There's no reparations. There's nothing. It's just Helheim is absolutely glad to not have to worry about my ass while also worrying about Ubar and Lanka. Why am I doing this? Because I can't affect the outcome of the next few turns. I can't, right? We threw things at Helheim that we probably shouldn't have thrown. We should have waited and consolidated forces into a larger, more robust force, and then tried to affect the scenario at Pestena after that point. I should have evacuated Pestena and just left it to Helheim, and then hoped that we would have been able to fight him for it later. That didn't happen, though. So, since I can't affect whether or not Helheim wins the game in the next 2 turns, I don't really see the point in me being at war with Helheim, because it just means that Helheim is going to raid the shit out of me, and we're going to get into this weird fight trying to... Odie Bodie, what are you doing?
He's biting my toes.
Kick him in the head.
Stop it.
You quit that. Come here.
Toe biter.
Being a bad boy. Come here. Come on. Come on. You quit. Why you biting? Huh? Why you biting? You bad boy. Bad boy. Lippo, you want to fight too? Go fight. You gonna swat me, sir? What? Sir? He wants me to pet him. I'm not gonna pet you. You were just biting people. You bad. I'm just distracting you. Anyways, speaking of distraction, sorry about that. So, I've made peace with Helheim. We are going to just say fuck it, and we're going to focus our attentions on Hinnom. Because if we do get into this crazy, weird war with Helheim, we might be able to win out in the long term, especially if Ubar and Lanka are fighting against Helheim as well. But we're going to start losing against Hinnom, and then we're just in a weird shit sandwich. So fuck it. Ubar and Lanka can deal with Helheim, and if they can't deal with Helheim in the next 2 turns, the game's over anyways. So I can't affect that, so why bother, right? Why worry about it? Instead, we've made peace with Helheim. We will refocus our efforts on Hinnom, try to take Hinnom down, and we'll hope that Ubar and Lanka can deal with Helheim. And if they can't, congratulations. Good job. So, to that vein, all of this movement is either moving around Ko-Oni or Oni in general, or it is redeploying against Helheim. So, let's talk a little bit about what some of that looks like. I think the majority of it is we are consolidating Ko-Oni into portions to where we can start to move some of them towards Helheim, because we need reinforcements to be able to take on... I mean, we got our ass beat last time, right? So we need some reinforcements to be able to do something there, okay? And then the other things that we're doing, aside from all that, is we're doing this little dance in Hinnom to try to avoid losing more forces. He now has a decent little force in Shambolic that we've seen, right? My assumption is he's going to try to catch us with that. He could go for Jabero, but this force actually isn't that strong, and we will be on home territory at that point. Meaning we'll get, all of our unrest buffs and everything like that. We don't have much of a force there, but it is there. So, my assumption is that he's actually going to try to go for this force, because this force is in his territory, and while it is stronger, it is in a position that it can be defeated if he consolidates his forces. So I'm going to do something that I expect he isn't going to expect. And I'm going to attack Moreni. I'm sending some forces here from... I'm just sending our prophet there, right? So that he can, bless everyone. But otherwise, we're just attacking into Mareni with this force. And the hope is that he's not anticipating me going directly onto his fortress, and then by the time he does realize that, we're just gonna move away, right? We're gonna move into Shambolic, or we're gonna move elsewhere, right? We're gonna just evade him until we can consolidate our forces, bring in reinforcements, and then try again, basically. We're also doing a little bit of sneaking and raiding in other places. We're going to attack Belfields, and we are pulling our forces out of Jabero, specifically because I don't want our forces to get locked in there. If he moves somewhere besides Shambolic, or from Shambolic, if he moves onto Jabero and we don't move, then our forces are locked there. They can't help anywhere else, right? If he moves somewhere else from Shambolic, or even from his capital, but he also sends someone on to Jabero, right? Unless we're patrolling, which patrolling is dangerous, he'll be sieging that and again lock us in there. So we're just going to avoid that entirely. We're going to move into one of our locations so we can kind of try to support. Maybe we have to consolidate in Mareni. Maybe we can consolidate in Sulfuria. But yeah, so we're just going to do that and see what we get. So aside from that, that's the main movement. That's the main development of the board state and what's going on from a nation overview kind of scenario, right? Like what's happening in the world. Let's talk about actual individual things. Recruitment. We are recruiting a couple of different things this turn. We're recruiting 2 Neminares and 1 Dione. Neminares are just because they continue to be our most efficient researchers. We're recruiting 1 over here in Black Harbor and 1 up here in Ulm. No, 1 up here in Grey Mountains. And then we're going to be back to recruiting Dione every turn that we can. Our income is actually kind of leveling out because we just lost quite a bit of stuff between the battles against Helheim and the battles against Hinnom. We have lost several units here or there that did actually cost upkeep, and a fair amount of upkeep, so our income has dropped a little bit. So we'll continue to try to do that every single turn. Yeah. See how that goes. Forgot to mark this down. Sorry, I've been talking for a while. I'm just in chatter mode. Next up, we have a bunch of rituals. We have Augury, 1 Augury, 1 Auspex, 1 Voice of Apsu, 1 Arcane Probing, 1 Haruspex, and 1 Reanimation. The list of various site searching spells is just because I'm freaking obsessive compulsive about it, and we're trying to build our gem income as best we can. And then the reanimation is happening over in Grey Mountains. We're trying to put together a little bit of a reanimated force here for Pusswound, our Mound King. So we'll see how that goes. And then we are forging a few things. We're doing 2 Lightless Lanterns, 1 Skullface, 1 Girdle of Might, and 1 Armor of Knights. The Lightless Lanterns are our general requisite things where we're just continuing to try to boost up our research. The Skullface happening over here with Kurofumi is because we lost our Skullface in Pestena. So we want a Skullface so that we can get to Death 6 with Kurofumi. That's going to be hopefully a good option for us. And then we have Girdle of Might and Armor of Knights just because we don't really have much gear right now. Gear is an issue. So we're trying to throw that out there. So that is pretty much it for all of that. And yeah, research-wise, we're about 5 turns away from Conjuration 8. Conjuration 8 is going to give us access to a couple things. Primarily, it is going to give us Well of Misery. We plan to put up Well of Misery to try to break into a gem booster and, get the global income. So that will be pretty nice if we can do that. That'll allow us to create Wraith Lords, or we can go up enchantment to do Liches, which I like. It also gives us access to Manifestation, which is potentially a route that we can go to try to crack some of Hinnom's strength, right? If we have a couple of Dionis or something like that that are outfitted with boosters, they can spam Manifestation at Hinnom's forts, and we can try to crack them that way. Manifestation's pretty strong, honestly, even against giants. Does a pretty good job. Alternatively, or not alternatively, but additionally, we also get access to Fairy Court, which I think is probably going to be pretty useful for us for putting both nature and air into our armies, so we can do stuff like Fog Warriors or Mass Regeneration or things like that. So yeah, we'll see how that all turns out. But that's going to be about 5 turns away, so got a while before we can actually do that, and the game might be over before we can actually do that. So yeah, we'll see how that all develops. Anyways, that is going to be the end of the turn. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.